Yes. Good evening, all my South Orange Maple listeners, and all those other listeners in the towns of Melbourne, Livingston, Irvington, West Orange, East Orange, and Newark. Welcome to In the Village With Anselm on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience, and live on the World Wide Web at somore.org, and the only radio show covering all your news, opinion, politics, talk, and sports happening in the South Orange, Maple, and surrounding communities. You can listen to us every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can reach us here at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626. Or log on to somore.org to participate in the discussion. We have an interesting program lined up for you this evening, and I look forward to your participation in the discussion. Now tonight, Marjorie, how are you doing tonight, Marjorie? How are you doing tonight, Marjorie? I don't know where the West Indies is. You know,
there's no such thing. But people get angry when you say that, so I'm going to leave that alone. I mean, the uninformed, I guess, get angry over that.
Get angry when you say the West Indies?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's no such thing as a West Indian, and then people would get mad, and
No, but just ask them where's the West Indies. That's all you can do. Ask them where's the West Indies. But it was really good. We were out there. There's something called Juve, which happens on the morning. It starts at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and it goes till like 10 a.m. And then you come back in the evening, and you have the parade of the bands, up on Eastern Parkway. And the funny thing is this. The organization that puts on the Labor Day parade is different from the organization that puts on the Juve on the morning of the Labor Day parade. Two separate organizations, and same day.
What organization does the Juve?
It's called the Juve Committee. And people go out and more people are doing Juve more than doing the Parkway, because they believe that, the police severely restricts them from doing a lot of the Caribbean stuff that they do on Juve.
Now, and the Juve's got something to do with like smearing mud all over yourself or something, and
mud, paint, powder, whatever.
Okay. I mean, is there some historical significance to all of that?
Yeah. It started way back with something called Camboulet. Of course, started from the slaves. Remember one time you made a point that the slaves ate pork. I don't know. In Trinidad, the slaves didn't have that. They weren't that
luxury,
rich.
that delicacy.
Yeah, they weren't that rich enough to eat no pork. They barely eat any chitlins. But they started doing this as a part of the thing when the slave master didn't want them to communicate with each other. So they started as a way of sort of communicating with each other in these different rituals. And, and Juve started. And Juve is really a big thing now. It starts really early in the morning and goes till about 10 a.m. And people have a wonderful time. You use mud, you use paint, you use powder, and you drink a lot as well. I mean, I really don't partake in the drinking, but there's a lot of drinking going on Juve. One of these days you must try it. You may. I don't know if you can keep up.
I can't.
Because it goes from like 4 o'clock till 10 a.m.
Now, this is something strictly Trinidadian.
No. It's not Trinidadian. We have indoctrinated other Caribbean
But I mean,
islands.
It started in the Trinidad, yes?
Yeah,
Just as all the rest of these festivities did. They didn't start in Jamaica.
No, Carnival. Well, I won't say we originated Carnival because they had Carnival also in Brazil.
Right.
And they call it the Mardi Gras. But in the Caribbean, when you talk about real Carnival, you got to go to Trinidad when you talk about Carnival. There's no place like Trinidad Carnival.
Is the Trinidadian Carnival related to Lent, like
Right after Carnival is Lent.
Okay, but when it's here, it's just at Labor Day because that's just what it is.
Well, that's what the day they put it on. Carnival in Trinidad is in February or March.
Okay.
So it's around a different time. That's Lent is right after. If you're Catholic, you go for Ashes. Carnival Monday and Tuesday is always the day before Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
And then, after people behave real bad and drink and do all that stuff, then they go on Wednesday to get ashes on their forehead.
Okay.
I really never understood that.
Let me get all the sinning in while I can.
I never got that. It's like, they're doing all this sinning. And when they finish, they go get ashes. And then the next thing is that Lent. They're like, okay, I'm going to give up something for Lent. They give up drinking, for example. Mm-hmm. Well, you giving it up to go back to it. You're not giving it up.
Well, you're doing without, so you can...
No, you're not giving it up, though. Give up. To me, you're a teacher. You would know better than I. Give up means to say that.
So abstaining for a while.
Abstaining permanently.
Okay, yeah, but this give up means just abstaining for 40 days.
This is a temporary give up.
Okay.
It's not a permanent give up.
Okay.
So they talk about giving up. But Marjorie, what's big in the news this week in South Orange and Mayport?
Well, Columbia High School dropped its ranking among the top high schools in New Jersey, so it's no longer number 50 or in the top 50. It's remains in the top 100, but that's one of the things. And another, the park test question is the district ready for them?
Now, according to this article in the Village Green.
You're looking at the Village Green one?
Yeah. 2 years ago, when Columbia High School broke into the top 50 in the New Jersey biennial rankings of state best high school, reaching 47th, it was cause for celebration among many in the South Orange Mayport community. CHS has advanced steadily up the ranking, rising from 89 in 2008 to 75 in 2010 and 47 in 2012. This year, however, CHS dropped down to 96 out of 339 schools reviewed. It is one of 8 in Essex County in the top 100. Milburn High School was ranked 5th. The top spot this year went to Chatham High School. Now, was 2012 the year that the Common Core...
No, we stopped now, the Common Core.
Was that the year they implemented the Common Core in South? I think it was 2012. Seriously, I think that was.
Don't try to make that correlation yet. Okay?
No, but I'm not.
A minute before, because first of all, the Common Core assessment is what the park assessment is, which we're going to get into a little bit.
Right.
A little bit. Yeah.
But listen, it's almost it's nearly a 100% drop. If you look at it, listen, yeah.
So how does that 100%?
47, it was 47th in 2012. It's now 96th. So if you, 47 plus 47, think about it. That's 94. It's over a 100%. Yes, it's over a 100%
okay,
drop.
All right. I want to leave the number. Just say it dropped. Okay.
But it's a 100% drop. If you go from if you were 47th, and then you go to 96th, right? Think about it.
Let's keep going. So what now? This is New Jersey monthly rankings. And so how do they take this into account? They include student-teacher ratio, student results on the SAT, the high school proficiency assessment, the AP or IB test, and graduation rates.
The school environment as well.
The school environment as well. And out of 339 schools taken into account, Columbia is now at number 97. It says also, they said, well, what factors they stopped. It says, I'll read this. Board member Jeff Bennett said in an email to the Village Green that CHS dropped in the rankings in part because New Jersey Monthly stopped factoring in average class size after the Department of Education stopped releasing that data. Columbia's class size is relatively small. Also, student-to-faculty ratio increased somewhat while the graduation dipped, Bennett said. The changes were small, but when so many top-ranked high schools have similar numbers, a small change will make a big difference in a ranking. Columbia's graduation rate is 90%, which is low compared to other high schools in the top 100. There's a lot of progress happening at Columbia High School and helping more students become college-ready, said Bennett.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
When you compare the graduation rate of 90%, it is low compared, so they are graduating a lower amount of graduate?
Among those who are in the top percentage.
Wait. Columbia graduation rate is 90%.
Which is low.
High
schools in the
top 100. So they just compare other high schools to what Columbia is doing to graduate, and it's rather low. So for example, if you compare
Columbia to Melbourne, and let's say Melbourne graduates at a 99% rate,
right?
Then that's low.
So it's low
compared to Melbourne, and then what's interesting is not Melbourne but Chatham.
Yeah.
Is the highest ranked one in Essex, in this area. Did it say all over or
in New Jersey high schools? Chatham is ranked number 1. I mean, but when you look at it, I mean, this is very disappointing. I mean, just go on and read some of the other things there.
Here it says, for instance, while rates of Columbia students who take at least one AP test have slowly but steadily increased over the years by a few percentage points, fewer than 30% of all Columbia students and only 13% of black students take an AP test.
Stop right there.
Oh, by comparison, in Livingston, which ranked 16th this year, the percentage of all students who take at least one AP test is 33.5%, and in Melbourne it is 47%. Ooh.
Ooh.
So Columbia apparently is very selective in who they allow to in these AP.
So do you have a problem
classes.
with it? Do you have a problem with that?
Do I have a problem with their selectivity?
Well, only 13% of black students take an AP test.
Well, we would do.
I mean, I'm just asking the question.
Do you have a problem with it, Ansel?
13%?
Yeah.
That number is very low.
13% of all black students take an AP test.
So let's just take an example. I think Columbia maybe has over 20-something hundred students.
2,000.
Yeah, 2,000. So if you have maybe 60% of the school is kids of color, right? That's 1,200 kids, right? And if only 13%, if 1,200 and you take 13% of 1,200, if you take 10% of 1,200, that's 120 kids. You add on another 3%, that's another 30-something kids. So let's say 150 kids out of 1,200 kids is taking an AP test. Is that a good number? I mean, 13% out of 1,200 kids, as an example, taking an AP test, while it says, well, it didn't even tell you what's the percentage of the white kids taking the test.
I guess it's 30% of them taking it.
It says fewer than 30%. In a report on AP and HSPS scores to the Board of Education last week, Chief Information Officer Paul Rott reported the district have seen gains in some areas but not in others. For instance, while rates of Columbia students who take at least one AP test have slowly but steadily increased over the years by a few percentage points, fewer than 30% of all CHS students and only 13% of black students take an AP exam. You know, it's funny. When they tell you fewer than 30%, they really mean 29.9%. So you know, it's like, you know, fewer could be, you know, fewer than 30%. That could be 15%. That could be 12%. But here, I think when they're talking about few, it's actually 29.9%. But they don't want to tell you. The person who actually gave this interview crafted this very well.
Well, let me ask you, why is this really that important?
Yeah, it's important.
Why is it important?
Because when you take an AP class...
No, is it important that New Jersey Monthly ranked
Yes.
our school district as number 97
Yes.
out of. Why is that?
Because you were 47 before, and now you're 97th. So that means to say that you, at one point in 2012, you were ranked 47th, which is a good thing. I can see everybody jumping up in Mayport and South Orange. Yeah, they're having a party at Flood Hills. They're having this education party because we are ranked 47th. Everybody putting their hand up. You know, as a matter of fact, they're having a celebration too on Labor Day. They're going to celebrate Columbia being 47th.
Okay.
Now they're 97th.
But does that mean does that mean we stink? You know, I mean, does that mean it, you know?
What?
Why are you looking at me like that?
So if there is 100% reduction,
I don't. Okay.
what does that mean? Okay, I'm going to give you an example. You got...
I mean, how does that translate for people in this community? Is that going to bring down the value of our property?
Yes. It doesn't translate well. Because if you are looking to move into a school district and you're looking at the school system as one of the criteria for you moving into the school district, and you're going to look at these rankings, you're going to go to the schools in Essex County that are higher ranked than Columbia, or schools in New Jersey that are higher ranked than Columbia. Time check. The time is approximately 8:16 p.m. Hold that thought. We're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be high school rankings. We'll be right back.
The Strollers, Maplewood's community theater since 1932, proudly presents Comedy Tonight. Come laugh at your friends, come laugh at your neighbors as they tickle your funny bone with song, dance, and old-fashioned sketch comedy. One weekend only, September 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Bergdorf Center for the Performing Arts in Maplewood. All tickets $10. Go to www.thestrollers.org for all the details. Don't stay at home. Come play with the Strollers.
Having problems with your house? Is your mortgage upside down? Can't get a loan modification or short sale? Tenant troubles, job loss, or transfer? Does your house need repairs, or maybe you're facing foreclosure? Time is not on your side. Call now and speak to one of our friendly associates. No matter the reason you have to sell, we have solutions. Operators are standing by to take your call. 800-709-1732 or visit www.7sellahome.com.
Are you looking for a professional logo design for your website, brand, or business? Then we are the company you are looking for. We are professional graphic designers, and with our skills, we will design a perfect, high-quality logo for you. We work with standout concepts, nice contrasts, and color balance. Please let us know your text for use in logo, web address, color of logo that you want. We will design 3 variations of your logo for you to choose from for only $99.95, with 100% refund of your $99.95 if you're not satisfied. We provide fast delivery and professional design. We also design any size web banner ad for $35. Call us at 347-674-1680. That's 347-674-1680. An operator is standing by to take your call.
Do you want your kid to run faster with better running form and conditioning for his or her sport? Then Running Development Academy is the place for him or her. Our training packages fix their form and make them run faster. How about training to run a marathon or just run faster in your respective event? Maybe you just want to learn to run properly and lose weight in the process. Our trainers, a former 800 meters track Olympian and an 8 times world record holder in Masters Track and Field, will get you there. Don't delay. Sign up today at runningdevelopmentacademy.com or contact us at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444 to learn more.
Want to learn piano for kids? Then I recommend Wendy Goldstein School of Piano. Wendy Goldstein has been offering piano lessons since 1993 and teaches piano in a very natural way. An alumni of Manhattan School of Music, Wendy creates customized lesson plans for each student and helps bring music alive. Wendy provides you a convenient location, the best value, and the most fun way to learn piano. All ages are welcome and the first lesson is always free. Have questions? Call Wendy Wendy at 201-207-5169.
Want to take a cruise but don't have a U.S. visa? No problem. Cruise and Rail Travel are experts at cruises that do not require U.S. visa. Visit www.cruiseandrail.net or call 868-631-8785. Find us on Facebook or drop us a tweet.
This is the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. We want to hear from you at 973-327-3626 or log on to showmore.org to let us know your opinion. Go ahead and advertise on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. You can reach us at 347-674-1680. That's 347-674-1680. An operator is standing by to assist you. You're listening to the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. For more, go to showmore.org to participate in the discussion.
I feel so blessed, y'all. This track is incredible. S1, You can feel it. I'm a blessed man. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. Right now, I'm a blessed man. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. No question, I'm a blessed man. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. You can feel it, you can feel it. So much joy, It's like a dream come true, like a sneak preview of the grand finale. I get a taste of heaven, it's like milk and honey. I was blessed with love before I had money. The things I love most, you can't take from me. I hold them close, the most high in my family. I might never get fortune and fame. I'm always gonna say I've been a fortunate man. And when they ask who I am, I will stand up and say I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask where I'm at, it don't matter, I'm with you, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask why, I will point to the sky, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yes, man, I'm a blessed man. We walk through the park holding hands, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm a blessed man. You're so beautiful, the words escape me, like the day I watched you give birth to our baby. You illuminate when I'm in a dark place. Bless my heart with a smile on your face. I'ma say it, my wife is hot, so it don't matter how much ice I got. I put a ring on her finger, leave it at that. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at. If it wasn't for God, maybe we never would have met. But he brought us together, so there's no question we're blessed. I don't write many love songs, I'm sorry girl. The truth is I never hear beats worthy of it. But when the glove fits, I let the world know I'm married to an angel and plan to stay faithful. And when they ask who I am, I will stand up and say I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask where I'm at, it don't matter, I'm with you, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask why, I will point to the sky, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yes, man, I'm a blessed man. As I sit back reflecting, it's obvious that my life's been protected. I had friends get murdered, I could have been there. Friends committed suicide, I could have went there. Depression, my life could have ended. I could have took a flight on September 11. Life is fragile, we take it for granted. I'm thankful for the life I was handed. Christ stretched out his arms on the cross, offered me freedom at a tremendous cost. I can't accept the gift without repentance. I talk to God with expectancy. He said, ask for anything in the name of my son. If it's my will, then it will be done. I'm not praying for material possessions. Being close to God is the greatest blessing. And when they ask who I am, I will stand up and say I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask where I'm at, it don't matter, I'm with you, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask why, I will point to the sky, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yes, man, I'm a blessed man. And when they ask who I am, I will stand up and say I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask where I'm at, it don't matter, I'm with you, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. And when they ask why, I will point to the sky, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yeah. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man. Yeah, yes, man, I'm a blessed man. I don't got rims on the car, you know. I don't got a lot of jewelry, you know, but I'm blessed with life. I'm blessed knowing God. I'm blessed with family. Yes, man, I'm a blessed man.
We are back with you. It's in the Village with Anselm and Margie and the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. Coming to you every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can reach us here at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/SoMore Radio. That's facebook.com/SoMore Radio. You can tweet us at SoMore Radio. That's at SoMore Radio. You can also listen to us on tunein.com. That's TUNEIN.com. TUNEIN.com. You can also send us your emails at somore.org@gmail.com. That's somore.org@gmail.com. You can call our offices at 347-674-1680. That's 347-674-1680.
Let me ask you something. Wait a minute. When you tune in, do you have to download Spreaker, or does that automatically happen?
It automatically happens.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's get back to this article here and finish up on this article.
All right.
And there are some interesting points here. Well, we talk about the comparison already, right?
Right.
By comparison in Livingston, which ranked 16 this year, Livingston is even ranked higher than us this year. 16th. We rank 97th. The percentage of all students who take at least one AP class is 33.5%. And in Melbourne, it's 47%. So, in Columbia High School, we have fewer than 30% of all students and only 13% of black students. I mean, we can't make that comparison for black students in Melbourne because I don't think they have a lot of black students.
I don't think so.
In Melbourne, you know. For Livingston, might be a little different. You know, it says, while the overall gains are positive, Roth said at the meeting, there are still double-digit gaps in participation rates between blacks and white students. So plenty of work still needs to be done. At least they're admitting it.
Yes.
You see, so what it is that when we talk about these things here in the village with Margie and Anselm, we actually speaking the truth. So therefore, no one should get upset. But, you know, people are going to get upset. But when you have this guy, you know, he comes out and he says the same thing that we are saying, you know, people say, oh, then it's okay. You know, Roth reported there was an increase in students' performance in the HSPS language arts test, with the achievement between black and white students narrowing by 16%. That's excellent.
Yes.
There was a lot of success with language arts, he said. However, math scores has remained flat since 2008. Meanwhile, inside New Jersey, the NewJersey.com magazine recently released its high school ranking, which uses 3 factors: a combined SAT score, a composite HSPA score, and a combined arts participation score. New Jersey is the only state in the nation that tracks students' participation in art.
That's a good thing.
Really?
Yes, you don't think participation in the arts is important?
I think it's excellent, but how many kids do you really think in school are really participating in art?
Well, apparently people at Columbia High School are.
Okay, I'm not.
Like it says, CHS ranked 9th best overall in Essex County, but its arts participation score was very high at 70%, better than many neighboring districts, including Livingston, Montclair, and West Orange, and even topping Chatham.
You know.
So here we have a diverse community of artists, and
I know Carolyn Maynard Parisi. I don't think Columbia encouraged her to kind of put that positive spin at the end of the article, you know, to leave you with something positive. CHS ranked 9th best overall in Essex County, but its arts participation score was a very high 70%, better than many neighboring districts, including Livingston, Montclair, and West Orange, and even topping Chatham. Oh, whoop-de-doo. We top Chatham in art.
Why are you making light of art? So what?
I'm not making light of it.
Important?
I'm not making light of it.
Math is important because you.
Yeah,
last time you blasted liberal
me,
art, so only math and science are important.
Math, language arts, and science are significantly important.
What about making a better human being, Anselm? What about making people that can deal with diversity? What about making people who are
art makes a better human being?
Of course, art makes a better human being.
What? How is that?
How does art make a better human being?
So you can draw these characters.
It's more to.
You can go. I can go. I can draw the ocean. I can draw the. I can draw these trees. Really.
But there's more to art than just
Let's be
drawing
honest.
The ocean and trees and.
What else? Tell me. So you were telling me that, you would rather someone who is proficient in art than math, language arts, or the sciences. It's called STEM. It's science, technology,
engineering
and math. Oh, you know what? Let's change that to STEMmer.
Well, they are saying. Many people say it's STEAM.
Okay,
they say it's STEAM rather than STEM.
Right, let's do it to STEAM.
Because what good is an engineer unless he has some type of understanding of human reality and life for people? That's true.
To me,
engineering programs. So when I went to all these college tours and stuff, and my son was thinking about becoming an engineer, of course you take this core curriculum, which is diverse because Howard, and it's got a smattering of everything. What good are you if you only know math and science and you don't know about the human condition? And thus you would need some liberal arts for that. Just like all of us people who study liberal arts have to take some kind of math course.
I think when they talk about arts, I don't think they're talking about liberal arts.
No, they're not. But I'm saying that, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But I'm just saying they use this, in such a way. Maybe it's the writer. Maybe it's not the high school. Maybe it's just the writer.
I mean, but look at who's in this community. You have artists and journalists and reporters. I mean, in addition to, engineers and lawyers and all the other things.
Listen, I don't have anything against artists.
Yes, all the artists, please call in.
But I will take STEM any day, rather than STEAM or STEMmer, whichever one you want to call it, because I think to me, very important, science, technology, right, math, and what's the E? Engineering, right. If you're an engineer, you got to know math. But if you're an artist, you don't have to know anything. You don't have to know math to be an artist. You don't have to know technology to be an artist. Come on. You got these guys, all right, this is what.
Well, wait a minute, look at
this.
I'm
going to do this project.
No. Hold up.
I'm going to go outside.
I just found what I need. This is what is STEAM. In this climate of economic uncertainty, America is once again turning to innovation as a way to ensure a prosperous future. Yet innovation remains highly coupled with science, technology, energy, engineering, and math. The STEM subjects, art, and design are poised to transform our economy in the 21st century, just as science and technology did in the last century. We need to add art and design to the equation to transform it to STEAM. There you go.
But you know what? It always happens. There is a small, minute amount of individuals who trying to change the majority. It happens. Let's be honest.
And so this move. What's the next article?
No, but I think this is when you look at it. I was just looking at the fact that it took an article where Colombia moved from 47th to 97th in the rankings. That's bad. That's really bad. That's pretty bad. That's horrible. And then what you did, you turn around and you say the same thing. You said, you know what? However, 70%.
We have great artists here.
We have great artists. So we are producing artists. We're going to send them to all these art schools. Fine. But that's not the majority.
People's lives aren't just one, they're just not monolithic. I mean, they have to incorporate elements of everything.
And I agree with that. But, that was just a little point of mine looking at it. Now, we have two candidates that bowed out of the Board of Education race.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Masachi, I thought, and Male Spina.
Uh-huh.
So why did Masachi drop out of that race?
Well, according to this, he has to bow out for personal reasons. And he's sad that his voice isn't going to be heard or disappointed. And he'll come up with some other way to help our school system. Wow. So what you do, you had to file by July 28th, and I think by the 1st of September, if you were going to withdraw after that, then, that was open for you. So now we have 4 people and 3 seats. Mm-hmm. 4 people and 3 seats. Friday, Alyssa Malaspina, a former librarian at South Orange Middle School, who's running in a ticket with Donna Smith. She withdrew from the race also, and said that she would spend time to work on a recent book deal.
So I guess after she announced that she was going to run.
Yes, and they had a great big grand running party or whatever.
You attended that party, right? How was that party?
The wine was great.
The wine was great. So
I got bit by a mosquito.
I
remember.
You went to this coffee.
It wasn't a coffee. It was an outside.
I thought they called it coffees in South Orange.
This was like a launch party. So
okay, you went to this launch party, and
yes,
and your takeaway from the launch party was that the wine was great.
Yes, the wine was great. I mean, what do you want me to say that I didn't? I just wanted to see what they had to say. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what I learned at that function is that all people have problems with the district. And they all think that their problem is unique. And it doesn't matter if they're white or black. They all are complaining about the same thing. This man was telling me at this party his son couldn't get into an AP history class. And he says, but he was already in an AP math and an AP science. And he felt that he had been wrong because his son couldn't get into this class. I'm and I just went into the whole spiel, and so what's their point?
I mean, what's his point?
Well, he felt that he was being wronged, and my investigation of this is that everyone has a gripe, and everyone thinks that this gripe is personal to them, but it's not. If
but
you're
it is
black, you think
to
it's
them.
personal. If you're white, you think it's personal. If you're a woman, if you're a man, you're a white male, you're black. Everyone thinks,
or if you're gay,
that someone. Well, everyone thinks that the district is out to mess with them specifically.
Well,
I think that
I want to disagree
the
with you.
messing up of people.
I don't think the kids that are in all AP classes, the kids that are in all level 4 classes, right? The kids that are in all honors classes, think that the district is out to mess with them. I don't think so.
Well,
parents,
this particular parent, his kids were in honors and AP, and because he couldn't get into one AP class, he felt that he was being wronged.
But maybe he should be in AP class because let's look at it. Not having all the facts, you would think that if a kid's in AP science.
So, well, is it just the admittance into AP, or is the district's? I mean, what we need to get confirmed is it the district's goal to make sure that the people who take these classes actually qualify on the advanced placement test?
No, that's not the district's goal. I know that much.
So, what the goal is just because no, I mean, like as I've said before, my son was in a class. There were 6 kids in that class.
That shouldn't be there.
There were 6 kids total in this AP calculus class.
Okay.
All of them passed the test.
Okay.
So a Columbia can say, look, we have a 100%
correct
passing or qualifying rate on this AP test.
Correct, because that's
so
why.
Back in my day, when I went to one of these meetings about getting your kid into these advanced placement classes, and I'm sure they still have these meetings, and I know that the district is going to do more because to get more people in. But at any rate.
Now, who did you pay for your son to get in the AP class?
They bragged about how they had a 90% passing rate, a 100% passing rate in this class. So they're going to take the creme of the creme, and put those people and these students into those classes.
Now, how did your son get into the AP class?
Because my son is just born mathematician. How did he get in? He took a test. I believe someone...
Did you help him?
I can't help him with math. I don't do math.
But you teach AP classes, though. You teach AP classes.
But I teach government and politics. I don't do math. Okay, so this is some genetic stroke of genius.
It had nothing to do with you, then. It had nothing to do with you then.
No, I mean, I don't take
genetically.
I don't take
It had nothing to do with you.
I really try not to take credit for the success or failure of any children that may have been the fruit of my womb.
Why not? Why not?
Because I just don't.
You have to. You have given them the path in order for them to study. You have given them the foundation in order for them to do things that they do.
So
they gotta learn.
If my children were criminals, would I take credit for that too?
Well, you didn't do what you were supposed to as a parent.
So do you think it's always the parents' fault that a kid or the parents they could take the credit for when their children do well?
Well, let me say this to you. Yeah,
I struggle with this
question. If you don't discipline your kids, you're gonna have problems. If you don't discipline your kids, if you let your kid go hang out in the village, in the South Orange village, in the Maplewood village, they having sleepover all over the place. When they have sleepover, you don't go meet the parents. You don't know if the parents is a rapist. You don't know if it's their killers. You're going to have problems. And I see this all the time, and I say this truthfully. To me, if you are going to send your kid to a sleepover at a person's house, and you haven't met that parent in the past, something is wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. Because, you don't know what type of parent it is. And listen, the daughter or son could be excellent kids. They could be the best, and the parents could be lovely, wonderful, fantastic. But you have to meet the kids. And I tell you, I used to tell my son that all the time. Dad, can I go over by my friend to have a sleepover? I said, okay, you go. I got to meet the parents. Why you got to meet the parents? I said, well, it's simple. I go and meet the parents. You have sleepover. I no meet parents, no sleepover.
All right.
So all that to say.
I mean, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that. I mean, and I agree with that. I mean, as someone, when my children were little, and there were parents out there who, during the summer, because this person is a teacher, they would leave their kids at my house. Now, I know all of these parents, but people...
But then you knew them. That's what I'm saying. You knew the parents.
Still, the kid in my crib was not the move.
But no, you knew the parents, though. But think
yes,
about it.
Okay, yes, I knew the parents.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But I really...
And they trusted you.
So you're saying that the reason that we have... So let's take your argument. So the reason we have an achievement gap is the fault of these parents, then.
No.
Because you're telling me to take credit from my mathematician son, so
yeah.
I should. It's the fault of the parents here that their children aren't in AP.
Because you have instilled some sort of discipline in him, for him to discipline himself to do the math that he needs to do to excel. It could be you could say the same thing in sports, that you could give them the skills and the know-how in order for them to discipline themselves to practice when they don't have practice. It's discipline. And they get that from what they see. Or maybe they hang with friends who are disciplined too. And being that those friends are very disciplined, they become disciplined. They said association breeds assimilation. You heard about that, right? Association breeds assimilation. So these are some of the things. And then you know what? And we're going to go for a short break. Listen, you know what?
I'm listening, Anselm.
And
I don't know. We're not talking about my children or your children. But my son also, I told you this before, went for an AP Physics. And he said there were like 300 people in there testing for that exam. And he didn't get into that.
Why didn't you query it? Why you didn't get in?
I did.
And
but this was a long time ago.
And what happened? He didn't get in?
He didn't get in. There were 300 people. There's probably, let's say, 60 spots. I mean, and that's probably way over. And if you are number 70 on a test or number 90 out of 200 or 300 people who take a test, then they're going to only take the top of the top.
What's wrong with making it open to any and anyone? What's wrong with that? Just to tell you, ladies and gentlemen,
the question.
She's looking for an answer now.
No, it's a question.
She didn't open a book, but she's looking for an answer.
No, this is the question we all have. Should a classroom be homogenous or heterogeneous? Do you want an honors class, or do you want just everybody who's at different levels in a classroom?
Yes, I want everybody that's different. I want the boarding school and the Catholic school type of education where you have people of different levels in these classes and very successful.
So you would have no level?
No, I get rid of levels. Levels is out the door. It's just like the Common Core.
Anselm,
just like the Common Core. The Common Core is out the door.
You've never been in a classroom. I mean, you've never taught in a class. You've never done that. And it's not. I
did teach at Nazareth High School in Brooklyn.
For how long?
Maybe
a week?
A few months. I taught at American Business Institute as well.
Okay, that's great. And that doesn't sound like a high school.
No, it's not a high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in a high school where you have people, I've had people who read it as, it was teaching a 9th grade class, and I had people who read it as 2nd grade, and people who read it 6th grade, and had people who read it 8th grade in one room.
Yeah, and so what? Eventually, what happens is that, to me, the slow people eventually raise their level.
Or the people who are not slow don't move forward.
They don't lower their standards. You know what?
Well, you know what? This time, it's time for a break.
Yeah. Time check. The time is approximately 8:45 p.m. That time check is brought to you by All Star Motors, providing with services you can trust. They provide you with ASC certified mechanics, New Jersey State inspection facilities, used car sale, authorized police towing, and emission repair facilities. You can call them at 973-762-8771. That's 973-762-8771. We'll be right back with the discussion of Columbia High School when we return.
Want to take a cruise but don't have a U.S. visa? No problem. Cruise and Rail Traveler, experts at cruises that do not require U.S. visa. Visit www.cruiseandrail.net or call 868-631-8785. Find us on Facebook or drop us a tweet.
Want to learn piano for kids? Then I recommend Wendy Goldstein School of Piano. Wendy Goldstein has been offering piano lessons since 1993 and teaches piano in a very natural way. An alumni of Manhattan School of Music, Wendy creates customized lesson plans for each student and helps bring music alive. Wendy provides you a convenient location, the best value, and the most fun way to learn piano. All ages are welcome and the first lesson is always free. Have questions? Call Wendy at 201-207-5169.
Do you want your kid to run faster with better running form and conditioning for his or her sport? Then Running Development Academy is the place for him or her. Our training packages fix their form and make them run faster. How about training to run a marathon or just run faster in your respective event? Maybe you just want to learn to run properly and lose weight in the process. Our trainers, a former 800 meters track Olympian and an 8-times world record holder in Masters Track and Field, will get you there. Don't delay. Sign up today at runningdevelopmentacademy.com or contact us at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444 to learn more.
Are you looking for a professional logo design for your website, brand, or business? Then we are the company you are looking for. We are professional graphic designers, and with our skills, we will design a perfect, high-quality logo for you. We work with standout concepts, nice contrasts, and color balance. Please let us know your text for use in logo, web address, color of logo that you want. We will design 3 variations of your logo for you to choose from for only $99.95, with 100% refund of your $99.95 if you're not satisfied. We provide fast delivery and professional design. We also design any size web banner ad for $35. Call us at 347-674-1680. That's 347-674-1680. An operator is standing by to take your call.
Having problems with your house? Is your mortgage upside down? Can't get a loan modification or short sale? Tenant troubles, job loss or transfer? Does your house need repairs, or maybe you're facing foreclosure? Time is not on your side. Call now and speak to one of our friendly associates. No matter the reason you have to sell, we have solutions. Operators are standing by to take your call. 800-709-1732 or visit www.7sellahome.com.
The Strollers, Maplewood's community theater since 1932, proudly presents Comedy Tonight. Come laugh at your friends, come laugh at your neighbors as they tickle your funny bone with song, dance, and old-fashioned sketch comedy. One weekend only, September 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Bergdorf Center for the Performing Arts in Maplewood. All tickets $10. Go to www.thestrollers.org for all the details. Don't stay at home. Come play with the Strollers.
Get into the discussion at 973-327-3626. This is the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. We want to hear your opinion. You can log on to SoMore.org or give us a call at 973-327-3626. For community news, sports, and opinions, call us at 973-327-3626 or log on to SoMore.org. You're listening to the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. Coming soon, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience.
We are back with you. It's in the Village with Anselm and Marjorie on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. Coming to you every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can reach us here at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626. Now, Marjorie.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to say something about the South Orange Maplewood School District. And you may not have experienced this because you had very intelligent kids. So
what do you mean, in my household or as a teacher?
In your household.
Well, we'll forget that. Let's talk about my life as a teacher. So,
your
I'm
life
not
as
looking
a
at
teacher.
it as looking at. I don't. My children are not the prototype. As you don't use yours as a prototype, so I'm not going to use mine as the baseline for anything.
But here is where I'm going.
Okay.
When my son was going to Tuscan Elementary School, and I've relayed this story many times. There was a teacher about it. I was on the PTA. I was the only male on the PTA, only male, only person of color, and the only person with an accent on the PTA.
I was the only one.
So yeah, I mean, like, I am the only one on the PTA. Okay.
All right.
And so they were having discussions about, which teacher they're gonna get for their kids. Because the school is supposed to assign you a teacher.
Right.
Not
we're a Tuscan family.
People,
I understand.
Right. So I heard some of the parents saying, well, I want Mr. Fracano for my daughter or my son. I'm like, Mr. Fracano? I was like, what do they mean? Mr. Fracano was the best math teacher. So I said, oh, that's the way it's done? So the next semester now, I sent a note to the principal. That was Dr. Arlene Pincus at that time.
I remember, Doctor.
Yeah, sent a note to Dr. Pincus. So you know I'm telling the truth. I sent a note to Dr. Pincus. And Dr. Pincus, I would like to get Mr. Fracano for my son for math. So she came out. She said, Anselm, we can't do that, right? I said, you take care of it. You'll be able to handle it. You know what I mean? Lo and behold, what you think happened?
You got Mr. Fracano.
I got Mr. Fracano.
Your son did.
PTA, being on the PTA has its privileges. Right? I'll give you another story. And this is just part of it to show that, you got to be involved in what's going on in the school system as a parent as well. If you don't have educated kids like how you do, kids who are taking AP chemistry and AP history and all these AP classes and all these AP classes.
So you're saying that the only way to get something done in the district is by being involved?
That's one of the main ways.
Or to react to something when it's not working for you.
Well,
because I wasn't directly involved because I had to go to work.
But to me, reactionary only gets things done temporarily.
Sometimes. I mean, and sometimes, as long as you do something. So you have to be paying attention. I think that's what it is. Now, you being on the PTA, and if that's the case, then all the PTA parents are the ones whose children are going to get the great hookup. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
So, I'll have a question for you is how do we get more people of color involved in these local parent-teacher associations?
Make the time.
But it shouldn't be about just your child, Anselm.
No, you know what?
That is the issue. You and I both have children out of this district, and we're still talking about the school system.
And you know what? I agree with you. However, at the end of the day, we are selfish human beings. We are all selfish human beings.
Some human beings are selfish.
Most of us are selfish human beings.
I don't know. We can't see. That's nothing that you could put a number on. You can't
most of us are.
That.
I give you an example. When you send your kids to school, don't you want the best for your kids? Are you going to allow another kid to trump your kid, right? For example, if two kids are going to, your kid and another kid are going for an AP class, right? And they say, well, you know what, Marjorie? We could either put your kid in the AP class or we could put this other kid in the AP class.
He can't come up with some,
No, but that's
not gonna happen.
So, all right, you come up with an example then.
Well, I can give you an example. I really want to talk about something that happened to me today at work.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss that.
No, and
was one of your Nigerian students?
No, I didn't have students today.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
But there was.
Let's close this one first, and then we get to what I'm doing today at school.
It has to do with a PTA parent.
Oh, at school?
Yes.
Okay.
And
what
the
happened?
parent who was the head of the there's a problem, an environmental problem in the building I work in.
Environmental problem.
Yeah, there's mold in this building.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good.
And I just discovered this.
Let me ask: is that in an urban district? Your
Yes,
district?
it is.
Oh, you see, Tim Wise talked about that.
Really?
Yeah, he talked about an urban district. What you get, the type of facilities you get in an urban district, that causes the kids, all these problems because they don't have the right. They don't have the right type of facilities.
They don't have the facilities, and then wait a minute, check this out. And then it's about advocacy. So, another teacher says, well, I went to the PTA because apparently no one in the administration is really taking heed to this issue. I mean, they do what they can, but go teach in that room or, and
put on a mask and go
went
teach
to
in that room.
And said, listen, this is going on. On the
Make
fourth
it an
floor
issue.
that there's mold, and the PTA parent says, well, my kid doesn't go up there, so I don't want to talk about it. See, it's a see, there you go. There you go.
That's
there
the
you
point.
go.
So
there you go.
That's exactly my point.
But people shouldn't be like that. They should be looking out for everyone.
No, but listen, we got to be honest. You got to be honest.
Yes, no, but it's about the collective. It's not about individual people.
You know what? Let people say that all they want.
Well, I'm saying.
You can say it all they want, but at the end of the day, when it has to do with your kid as against other kids,
but if
you are going to go.
We're living here, so here we're talking about. Listen, so we could say the same thing regarding this article, right? Columbia ranks 97 as opposed to number 47 or whatever, and then I could say, well, that doesn't bother me. My kids have graduated, both of them, are gone to college and blah blah blah, and are getting this and da da da. So, and I don't, have children in this district anymore, so it doesn't matter. But we know that it does matter.
Well,
because wait a minute, because it's a reflection on all of us. If we don't take care of the people that we live with, that we pay taxes with, that we pay taxes for to educate them, then what good are we?
And I agree with you. I agree with you that even though we don't have kids in the school district, we have to advocate for those kids that are in the school district, especially that we have this program and we can actually air certain things that people may want to keep a secret. They want to keep these hidden secret.
It's all out.
Well,
here.
but you know what? Yeah, sometimes there are certain things. But I agree with you. However, on the flip side, is we can talk about it now. But if our kids were in the school system, we want the best for our kids. I'll give you another example. There was
but all you can really fight for is your kid, not unless you are an elected. But you can that you can directly fight for because that is a direct impact on your life. But so are the other kids in this community, and it impact my life. The other kids in this community impact my life.
You see, if, and I'm gonna say this, if the parents of color in this community but to take a more active participation in the system will be different.
All right, so that takes us to another level, which is why people, the question is why people don't participate. Why people don't participate in the community, why don't they participate in the schools, why don't they participate in the education of their children?
Let me tell you why.
You have an answer to that? Because I'm sure it's a multifaceted. You've got one answer?
Yeah, I have one answer.
What's your one answer?
They find a reason not to.
No, that's not it. I mean, I'm sure that's one of the answers, but
that's the main answer.
The entirety of the answer.
They find a reason not to. They find a reason. Well, I got to work.
That's a reason.
Find a reason not to.
You have high taxes and you have to.
But they're finding a reason not to. I'm too busy. Finding a reason not to. Okay?
Okay, but I'm going to look at it in another way. I could give you other reasons that people don't do that.
For example?
Well, I believe that.
So you fish,
breathe. No, I don't. I mean, I had like 7 things in my head, but they, they were trying to come all at one time, and they just got log jammed there. Yeah. First of all, it has to do with this idea of efficacy, that you have the ability to speak for yourself and fight for yourself and speak up for yourself.
You're listening to the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. For more, go to SoMore.org to participate in the discussion.
So you say you have fight for yourself and speak up for yourself?
Yes, it's political advocacy. And, according to political science, those people who vote or are participating in government have a sense of efficacy, that they can do something, that they can matter and make a difference in a system. And you have to believe that you can make a difference. I think another issue is that you say, oh, South Orange Maplewood, it's a safe place. Let me go and move there, and I'm going to get a good education for my children. And you don't realize that good education that you are looking for is something that you have to fight for.
And
a third reason is that some people have negative experiences with schools. They don't believe that they're welcome in them. And, for whatever reasons, be that their past or whatever. And so they don't go into the school. And there could be the other reason that the teacher is always right. So rather than them fighting the system, they just assume that the system is doing right and that is what their kid deserves. And another thing I can think of is that they aren't paying attention. They're not paying attention.
There you go. You just took the words out of my mouth. They're not paying attention. And here's up. I'm going to ask you this question. When your kids were in Columbia High School, you knew what levels they were in, right?
Yes.
There is many parents of color in this community don't know what level their kid is in.
Because I guess when they get that notice, leaving, from going from Tuscan to the middle school, I remember the teacher saying, okay, we're going to put your daughter in this level. Watch out and make sure that that's where she's at. So had not that teacher, and I feel like naming names because this teacher is really phenomenal, this woman.
Name names, it's okay.
Ms. Reyes, had not Ms. Reyes told me to pay attention, I probably would not have. And then one day, I am at the pool, and I get something in the mail. I wasn't at the pool, but I got the mail, and I'm sitting there talking to Barbara Heisler. And I
Barbara
said,
Heisler
hi,
Williams,
my daughter is going to be in level such and such, but, why did she score, 90 percentile up and above across the board on every test? She says, well, that's something that you have to fight. And so once you fight it, but had I not...
But why do you have to fight it?
Because, but you know what? It's not just. It happens to everybody, black, white.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
happen
it does.
No, it does
Yes,
not.
it does.
Wait
yes, it does.
Wait a minute. It happens to
at least when
everybody?
I talk to people, it happens to others. It's not just something exclusively for black people.
I will. Well. Listen to this. I think you're right, but I think the majority that it happens to is kids of color.
Yes, and because you know why? Those people can get away with it because nobody is paying attention.
And you're absolutely right.
So it always goes back to someone paying attention. Now, at Tuscan, my daughter just happened to get all the quote unquote best teachers, which I don't really like that. And then when my son was
why
there,
not? You get the best
because
teachers.
I don't like. I mean, but those were the people everyone said they were, but it wasn't like I knew that they were the best.
But they were the best. If you hear people saying that they're best, they're the best. Trust me, because people talk about the best. And they
talk about the worst ones.
Well, the worst ones, they tell you to stay away from the worst one. But they talk about the best all the time. And most people want the best. I mean, look, if you teaching in college, it's all about the best teachers. And the best teachers are the teachers that they may not be the most difficult teachers, because to be honest with you, if students don't pick your class, right? They get to apply to get into your class, right? Your AP class.
No. Some students do. Now let's see. We don't want to go back to my school, but go ahead. What are you saying?
So some students do. I was just going to say.
No, it's not like that. I mean, if students want AP, they get into AP. There's certain people that they put into those classes, but for the most part, like maybe I had 20 kids. And then yesterday, when I'm in the hallway, a guidance counselor says, I just had moved 15 more people into your class because there were too many in the honors class. So some of these people just got put into there. And some of them probably don't belong. And some of them will not qualify on the test. And then that'll come back and look bad at me because I have to have a register of 34 kids. Whereas in Columbia High School, you're not going to have 34 kids in an AP class.
You have 34 kids in an AP class?
34. And they've been threatened that if I don't have 34, we're going to shut it down.
34 minority kids.
Various black, white, Hispanic, Asian. I mean, it's a very diverse school.
34?
Yes. And I'm just telling you, my son is in a class of 6. So kudos to Columbia High School. 6 might be a little under the level, but undernumbered. But, yeah. 34.
Now, let me ask you, with 34 kids, can you really
No, you cannot.
Can you really reach 75% of those kids?
I can't.
But why are they doing it?
So they can have a ranking in some obscure magazine that says we offer all these AP class.
They already know what the end result is, right?
Pretty much so.
So, but I know what's going to happen.
You know what? And what will happen is that I will get
rated
based on the conditions that
because
I've been
you were
subjected
supposed
to,
as this teacher, you were supposed to make sure all of those 34 kids, right, pass that AP exam. And if they don't,
picture that.
If they don't, we're going to hold you responsible.
That's right.
What's wrong with that?
You know what's wrong with it. Look at you can't even say that with a straight face.
I don't even see anything wrong with that.
Huh?
That's your job.
Okay, so let's say that every class I have is at capacity. So that's 5 classes with 34 people in them.
That's what they pay you for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I live in Maplewood, South Orange, and my kids don't go to school. In the community in which I work.
So what I hear you saying is that at the end of the day,
class size doesn't matter. I mean, because teachers are human beings. They're not machines, and they get worn out. So, you're reading and reading and grading and reading, and you're supposed to remember everyone's name, immediately and know everyone.
Do you remember everyone's name? How do you remember the kid's name?
By January, I might know everyone.
But how do you remember the kid's name? What do you use?
I don't have any system.
No, you don't have a system?
It's just some personality thing.
Oh, okay.
When you're grading, you get to know people. You see handwriting, you're like, who is this? And then you connect it to that person. Comments. And then there are the people that are just kind of, I'm like, I don't.
She's just. This is just unbelievable, ladies. I don't know, man.
Oh my God! I don't. If we're gonna have a discussion about what it's really like to be a teacher, that's what we're gonna do. But we're not doing that right now because we need.
No, we know we're not. We just having a discussion about all these different things. Remember, we talked about the article, and you talked about Male Spina and Masaccio not running for the Board of Education.
In reality, though, in moving into this moldy room and moving out of another room that I'd been in, area that I'd been in for 5-6 years, and I saw papers from years ago, there's names of people, who I don't remember. So you've dealt with thousands of kids, remembering every person. It's just, we have to sponsor a candidates night. South Orange Maple. They're called the Hilton Neighborhood Association is sponsoring a Board of Education Candidates Night. What night?
On Thursday, September the 18th at 7:30 p.m. in the DeHart Community Center.
Maybe we should just go to that. Can we just go?
Well, we could go and broadcast it.
Okay.
We can actually broadcast it live. All the candidates are expected to participate and respond to questions they receive prior to the meeting. A question and answer session will follow. The forum will allow residents to find out the candidates' position on important issues facing education in the district and will provide an opportunity to express concern. The meeting is free and open to the public, and refreshment will be served. For more information, you can contact 973-761-4672. That's 973-761-4672.
So you say that's a Thursday, eh?
Yeah, the 13th. That would be something good to broadcast. I think so. As you look at, but I think, when you look at this rankings by Columbia and this drop, there has to be some reason why that drop happened. There has to be some significant reason why it happened. Now let's quickly look and see. For example, in 2012, when the rankings came out, Columbia was ranked 47th. All right? And other schools that were ranked in front of Columbia was James Caldwell in Essex. Livingston in Essex was ranked in front of them. Livingston, who was? West Essex was also ranked in front of him. Melbourne was also ranked in front of them. And you wouldn't believe it, the number one school was New Providence back in 2012. In 2010, Melbourne was ranked the number one school. Where's Chatham? Chatham was ranked, in 2010, Chatham was ranked 8. In 2012, they were ranked 20. And in 2014, Chatham is ranked number 1. So what you can say is that...
what do you... but then at the same time, which I have not done, you have to look at socioeconomic situation in those communities.
Socioeconomic.
And...
Melbourne is
added to the fact that they do not have the racial diversity that we do. And that's a negative for them. That's a negative. That they don't have all these different colors of people in their community.
But I don't understand something.
That's not good for a kid.
McNair Academy is in Jersey City. They have been consistently ranked at the top of the schools in New Jersey. And come on, if a school is in Jersey City, you know what its makeup is. You know for a fact.
Is this a charter school or McNair High School?
I think McNair Academy. I'm not sure if it's a charter school, but it's in Hudson.
It's a magnet school in Jersey City.
Yeah. So, if you look at that school, Glenridge is also up there.
The school offers a wide selection of AP courses. Why is everyone giving all this credence to AP? That contains courses at the honors level. 21 AP courses are offered. So they're all doing this based on these College Board courses. That's amazing. With 897 students taking exams, 83%, or almost 84% of those taking exams scoring 3 or higher. Qualifying more than quadruple the statewide average. So this is a magnet school. So you elect to go there. It is not a community school or a neighborhood school.
But I think the school is predominantly kids of color. And look at it, Jonathan Dayton.
Yes, but if all the kids of color whose parents are involved, and we don't know what it takes to get into that school. So it could be a private-like public school.
Come on, it can't be a private-like public school.
What are you talking about? Sure it could.
How could it be? There's no private like public schools.
If you elect to go to that school, and if there is a criteria for you to get into that school, we need that information. You can't bring up this kind of stuff. We don't have the information on that school.
You pay to go to private schools.
If it's a magnet school, you elect to go to that
But you're not
school.
paying to go to that school.
No, you're not paying.
So it's not private. It's public.
Okay, it's public school.
You can't.
It is a selective public school.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
To me, it's a public school. If you listen.
Oh my God,
Anselm.
Anselm.
So if you meet the criteria in order to get into that school, and if the criteria says, you have to be a 90 student, you have to be an A student, so be it. But it's
Look
public.
at this in a student-teacher ratio of 16 or 14 to 1.
Good.
Look at that. It's not 34 kids stuffed in a class.
I'm glad for them.
Yes, I am too. That's
because
wonderful.
That means to say that, the kids.
Admittance is based on a consensus of PSAT scores, academic performance from 6th through 8th grade.
Okay, good.
Extracurricular activities, teacher recommendation, with the primary goal of diversity through affirmative action. The school's enrollment is based on a quota of 25% white, 25% black, 25% Hispanic, and 25% other, mostly Asian. It's a set-up program. It's not like whoever is living in this neighborhood can come. So this is what I meant by saying that it's like a private school because it has restrictions on who can come in. So of course it's gonna. You can't. I would even put that in the folder, among those. The other schools. You can't compare it. It's not comparative.
No, I think when I look at it, I've said in Jersey City.
Boys are required to wear slacks, button-down collared shirts.
Let's get to that.
Females advised to wear appropriate, unrevealing business attire.
Let's go for a quick commercial break. Let's hold that thought. Let's go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
The Strollers, Maplewoods Community Theater since 1932, proudly presents Comedy Tonight. Come laugh at your friends, come laugh at your neighbors as they tickle your funny bone with song, dance, and old-fashioned sketch comedy. One weekend only, September 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Bergdorf Center for the Performing Arts in Maplewood. All tickets $10. Go to www.thestrollers.org for all the details. Don't stay at home. Come play with the Strollers.
Listening to the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. For more, go to SoMore.org to participate in the discussion.
We are back with you. It's In the Village with Margie and Anselm on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. Coming to you every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can reach us here at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626. And of course, we all mentioned to you that we give you the SoMore quote of the day. And what is the SoMore quote of the day? As soon as I can bring this up for you, the SoMore quote of the day is, So Marjorie,
that's not the SoMore quote of the day.
That's not the SoMore quote of the day.
Listen to this. So you're required
all right,
to...
let me give them the SoMore quote
ahead.
of the day. Life is filled with surprises. You just have to cut down your expectations. Life is filled with surprises. You just have to cut down your expectation. And that is the SoMore quote of the day.
All right. Check this out. So at this McNair Academy, you're required to fulfill 50 mandatory community service hours.
Good. Excellent.
You must maintain a final grade of 70 or higher in all courses. If you have a failing grade in one course, you got to go to summer school to pass the course.
Excellent.
If the student receives a failing grade in 2 or more courses, you cannot re-enroll in the school the following year.
Good.
And you got to go to your local or another high school, private high school.
Good.
So,
what about the What about the uniform part of it? I like that. You had mentioned the uniform part of it.
Yes, sneakers. Boys are required to wear slacks, complemented by a suit, jacket, a V-neck sweater during the autumn seasons is permissible. It says, a school enforces a business code type dress code.
Good.
Though not a school uniform.
Why can we do that at Columbia High School? You know why? You know why we can't do it? I'll answer the question for you. Anyway, why can we do that?
You tell me.
Because people in this community
are artistic.
Yeah,
and we want to be able to express ourselves.
Freedom of expression.
That's right.
Our artistic people, right, who are 70% of them doing excellent at Columbia High School, those 70% artistic people going to say, well, you know what? We want freedom of expression. We want our right to dress freely.
What kind of voice is that, Anselm?
I don't know what type of voice that was. but we
yes, and
we want to dress freely. However, right? To me, if I was the superintendent, I'll inform uniform. Or not uniform. Business attire.
First of all, that would have to be a policy created by the Board of Education.
They don't have the testicular fortitude to do that. They don't. If you know, we should ask Maluku, that's his name,
Yeah.
and what's the other one? Baker. We should ask Maluku and Baker.
You want to have that as a question? What do you think about school uniforms?
No. What do you think? Are you for school uniforms? Because if you tell them what do you think, they can say, well, I think it's a good thing, but I don't know if it's going to happen in this community. Don't give them an out. Don't give them an out.
Would you want the uniforms to go all the way down to kindergarten, or everyone to be uniformed?
Yeah, the whole school district. So you know what? When you start from kindergarten, you already know when you go up to the middle school, you're going to have to wear a uniform. And when you go to the high school, you're going to have to wear a uniform. Or if it could be uniform in the elementary school or middle school, and business attire in the high school. You can't come to school with no short pants. You can't come to school with pants above your knees. This is not a fashion show. This is school. And that's part of our problem. You see, you know.
But this is America.
You know, I was just going to tell you this. I was just going to say this.
This is America.
You know, in the Caribbean, we got it right. In the Caribbean, we got it right. In the Caribbean, when you go to school, you have to wear uniforms. And that, you know what that does for you? Really and truly?
I know what it does for you.
It takes away a lot of peer pressure. For you who may not be able to afford that expensive sneakers, or that expensive shirt, or that polo shirt, or that, what's the latest jeans they have?
Whatever they are.
Whatever they are. The latest jeans, it takes all of that away. It takes it right away. Boarding school does it. I mean, you know, this thing in public school is an easy fix, you know. But
you think public? So we can fix everything. Do you? Okay.
It's an easy fix. It's an easy fix. But what happens is that we get all these people in this Board of Education sitting there, right? And for example.
So let's you got a couple minutes. So here's what you're proposing. That we had institute a uniform policy.
Yes, uniform.
For the students.
Yes. Anyone can take AP classes.
Anybody can take
AP classes, yeah.
You don't care how many people.
You know what? Trust me. You're not going to get 34 people in one class. You're not.
You want to get rid of all levels?
All levels is out the door. Forget about it. Just like Common Core is out the door.
Common Core.
Yeah, Common Core is out the door. If you for the core, you out the door. The Common Core is out the door. You know, we whacking that Common Core. Like Jeter is going to retire. We're going to whack that Common Core. Let it go with Jeter. We're going to retire the Common Core. Go ahead. What else?
I'm just, I've got to come up with your.
Yeah,
you should really run for the board. It's too bad it's too late next year.
No. I don't want to run for the Board of Education.
Why not?
Because I think I can do a better job, right, on this program rather than going on the Board of Education. Because you know why? I'm in only one voice. And then these other people who are sitting around there who don't have the testicular fortitude to make changes that will impact the district or make it a better district. For example, the pool issue. The pool. They were going to build a pool for like 20 people. $10 million.
What do you mean for 20 people? What are you talking about? Everyone takes swimming lessons.
No, everyone does not take swimming lessons.
Yes, they do.
Okay, good. If they take swimming lessons, there's pool all around the areas. There's the Maplewood pool.
You have to pay for that.
Yeah, a small stipend. But you're going to put
Maplewood pool is a small stipend?
Yeah, you put in a $10 million pool for 20 people.
What do you mean 20 people? Everyone has to take this class.
There were 20 swimmers on the team.
We're not talking about a team. third period, you have swimming. You go swim and learn how to swim.
They do it right now in whatever little pool.
I mean, there's a
there.
pool there. Yeah,
Yeah, so
but
let them
I don't
swim
know
in that pool.
I don't know the story behind.
So they were going to spend $10 million in the pool. So what happened? They come up with a petition, stop the pool. You know what they did? They stopped the pool. These bunch of people sitting around the table, knowing fully well, if we're going to invest $10 million for 20 people, it doesn't make sense. Take the $10 million, invest it in the education, invest it in getting rid of levels, right? Invested in telling the kids, you know what? We're going to have uniforms. We're going to make this school better. We're going to make it like McNair Academy.
You can't make it like that because the McNair Academy is selective. It's selective. They're going to only let you in. So you want to do Columbia like that?
But we're using it as an example. We're not going to use Melbourne as an example. We're not going to use Chatham as an example. Because those are not
so
good examples.
You want to take some of these?
Yes.
Some of these?
Yes, and use it as an example. I'm not going to use Chatham because we know the makeup of Chatham. I'm not going to use Melbourne because you know the makeup of Melbourne. So you have to get a school that's diverse enough and McNair
But you've got a quarter, of each major ethnic group.
That's truly diverse, as opposed to the segregation that we have at
Columbia High School is
High.
diverse.
It's a segregated school.
But it's diverse.
It's segregated. You say it's diverse, I say it's segregated.
When I say diverse, there are black people there are white people there are Asian people there, and a couple of Hispanics. So there is the diversity.
But it's a diverse school that's segregated. I'll give you an example. If you go into Columbia High School...
Please don't tell me you can walk down the hall and look in a classroom.
And you would
Everyone
know.
has heard that already.
But it's the truth. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? She's looking for an answer.
I'm not looking for an answer. I think that, do you know what? I mean, because I don't work at Columbia High School. I only talk to people who do work there. And I can tell you what they tell me.
What they tell you is the truth.
But I'm not going to do that in this segment.
But I'm telling you that if you go into Columbia High School.
But I think that because we are all aware of that, we're all aware
so
of
it's the truth.
Situation.
So it's the truth.
We are aware of this situation. And I believe, I just have hope.
Why you tiptoeing around the mulberry bush?
I don't even know what a mulberry bush looks like.
You tiptoeing around the mulberry bush.
No, because I don't want to slam this district, and I believe
you're
that
not
it's
slamming
going to
the
get
district.
better.
It's
better. I like where I live at. And
I love where I live too.
And I can look at the situation I'm in,
you know,
and by comparison, that I think that these people, these teachers here, are doing a good job. When I look at the situation that I'm in.
Not all of them. There are many of them who once, if they have to leave here at 2:30, once 2:29 comes up, they already got their bag packed.
And what about you? If you had to go to a job, do you stay there all night long?
I call it.
And even if you do leave, that doesn't mean your job leaves you.
I call it FILO. First in, last out. FILO.
Okay, that's cute. But
yeah,
when people in any other corporation and I guess they don't have bells that ring like we do, but people will, the whistle blows. Yeah. They're standing at the clock waiting to clock out.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so
they got like their card. Just wait. As soon as that thing 2:29.
I'm not one of those people because I don't have to rush home and cook dinner for people, Anselm. But you know what? I'm glad that
like that.
Yes.
Oh, so I'm telling you the truth.
Yes, but because that doesn't mean that I don't take a wad
I'm
load
not
of
saying
papers
you.
home
I'm not
with
saying
me.
you. I'm not
but
saying you.
But everyone takes those papers home. Everyone takes those problems.
Now, here's your favorite quote by Martin Luther King Jr.
What? No.
Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. You, Marjorie, want people to be silent. You want us in this community
Can you believe this? Don't listen to this.
You want people to be silent about certain things. Why is that?
I want everyone to believe that they can do something about their situation. That's what I want.
So, good. You don't want us to be silent.
If I did, I wouldn't be sitting here with you.
Oh, okay, good. So you don't want people to be silent about when you go into Columbia, you can tell which is a level 3 class.
No, but that's just, we all know that.
And you know there are bad teachers. You send that article about bad teachers.
No, I don't believe there's such thing. Now, I might be wrong about that. My question to you is, what do you call a bad teacher? What makes a bad teacher?
Well, we don't want to. We got into that discussion in the past.
Now, I wasn't here when you did that, but
Well,
we'll do that.
Here?
No, I was.
So we're gonna
Princeton
save that.
with that fun job.
Oh yeah, we're gonna save that for another day, and we're definitely gonna address a bad teacher, because there are many bad teachers.
But they're bad everything. I mean, why do you think teachers are like? What do you think? They're just human beings.
And I agree with you.
People do,
but unfortunately,
I wish we could. How much we have no time. I mean,
unfortunately,
you know, when we get off the air, we're gonna continue this discussion because I have things to tell you that I saw this week. I need to tell you some of these things.
No, tell me on here.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
Did you saw at your school?
Yeah, man.
Like what, for example?
No, I don't want to do that right now.
Well, we can.
I don't want to do that right now. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how to incorporate these exciting, sad, pathetic stories that I have on the air.
And they could relate to Columbia High School. They could relate to the school district.
I just want you to know, but it's.
So you think that there is
you relate everything to South Orange Maplewood, but you know.
Well, I could say the United States of America. If you want me to go broader, I could go broader.
About the state of education, but we can't talk.
Barack
about
Obama talked about segregated schools.
I don't want to hear about what Barack.
No, I'm not going to
Obama
play
said.
it, but
Please,
he said about segregated schools. Bronx versus border, and we are still segregated. He talked about
when
it.
you talk about segregated schools, so do you mean the fact that black and white students are in the same school, or they have to be in the same classroom? And do you believe that they have to sit next to one another? And what about you don't believe that there should be any all-black schools? You don't think that's a good idea, right?
But you know what? It's approximately 9:30 p.m.
See,
what are we going to do?
Me? It's okay. It's all right. It's
all
right.
What are we going to do? We actually really and truly have to pick this up, because I think, Marjorie, I want you to really,
oh my goodness, what do you want?
Understand when we talk about segregation, what we are talking about.
Yes,
here.
we're going to have to define it. We're going to have to do that. We are going to do that. We're going to define.
Seriously, we're going to define segregation, and we're going to talk about there could be diversity with segregation. There could be diversity with segregation. As we have in
there could be segregation.
We're going to wrap up.
Want to take a cruise but don't have a U.S. visa? No problem. Cruise and Rail Traveler, experts at cruises that do not require U.S. visa. Visit www.cruiseandrail.net or call 868-631-8785. Find us on Facebook or drop us a tweet.
Want to learn piano for kids? Then I recommend Wendy Goldstein School of Piano. Wendy Goldstein has been offering piano lessons since 1993 and teaches piano in a very natural way. An alumni of Manhattan School of Music, Wendy creates customized lesson plans for each student and helps bring music alive. Wendy provides you a convenient location, the best value, and the most fun way to learn piano. All ages are welcome, and the first lesson is always free. Have questions? Call Wendy at 201-207-5169.
Do you want your kid to run faster with better running form and conditioning for his or her sport? Then Running Development Academy is the place for him or her. Our training packages fix their form and make them run faster. How about training to run a marathon or just run faster in your respective event? Maybe you just want to learn to run properly and lose weight in the process. Our trainers, a former 800 meters track Olympian and an 8 times world record holder in Masters Track and Field, will get you there. Don't delay. Sign up today at runningdevelopmentacademy.com or contact us at 973-868-1444. That's 973.
Then we are the company you are looking for. We are professional graphic designers, and with our skills, we will design a perfect, high-quality logo for you. We work with standout concepts, nice contrasts, and color balance. Please let us know your text for use in logo, web address, color of logo that you want. We will design 3 variations of your logo for you to choose from for only $99.95, with 100% refund of your $99.95 if you're not satisfied. We provide fast delivery and professional design. We also design any size web banner ad for $35. Call us at 347-674-1680. That's 347-674-1680. An operator is standing by to take your call.
The Strollers, Maplewoods Community Theater since 1932, proudly presents Comedy Tonight. Come laugh at your friends, come laugh at your neighbors as they tickle your funny bone with song, dance, and old-fashioned sketch comedy. One weekend only, September 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Bergdorf Center for the Performing Arts in Maplewood. All tickets $10. Go to www.thestrollers.org for all the details. Don't stay at home. Come play with the Strollers.
We are back with you. It's in the Village with Anselm and Margie on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. Coming to you every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can reach us here at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626. Before we go tonight, I'd like to send a special so more shout out to Joan Yule Williams listening in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, Joan, thank you for that shout out to myself and Margie, which you sent at 8:47 p.m. Margie, can you say a little shout out there to Joan Yule Williams in Trinidad and Tobago?
Thanks, Joan, for listening.
You know, of course, you know, we
Anselm is really...
we have listeners all over. So, you know, Mrs. Joan Yule Williams, a special shout out to you. The time is approximately 9:35 p.m. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall, so that's all. I like to say what I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. Margie, your closing remarks?
Good night, listeners.
See ya. Same so more time, same so more channel. Later.
Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. So we give it thanks for all of his blessings, his guidance. Oh Lord, how great thou art thee. Thank you for blessing me. Transpose all my energy, yeah, and molded talents in me. Now those on my head, I appreciate your gratitude, endurance and faith. They standing in line, want to intertwine, devour my body, soul and mind. But my will is strong, they can't throw me down. With your guidance I will carry on. Oh Lord, every day I'm going to sing this song. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you Lord for what you've done for me, yeah. Thank you Lord for every little thing, yeah. Thank you Lord for what you've done for me. And I thank you for blessing me every day. And through the river walls, I will walk with you beside me. Be unharmed cause you can find me, yeah. And when their kingdom falls, you'll console me from my distress. In your warmth of grace I will rest, yeah. No resurrection can remove me from your bubble. They will perish in their rubble, yeah. And if that false fear falls, oh Lord, I will be lifted up to you, the Lord, and sing it. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing, eh. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. And I thank you for blessing me every day. And so I sing again. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. Hey. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. thank you for blessing me every day. Thank you for giving them love. Thank you for giving me all. Thank you for keeping my faith. Thank you for everything.